We got the fitting out of the old radiator just to compare, because some fittings came with the new radiator. If you look inside of this one, it's got a smaller hole with an O-ring. If you look at the old one, it's got an O-ring in there and a bigger hole. And then you can see that this is our replacement one. If you look at the two, they're two different sizes. So this larger one is the one that we need here. Now he's going to set the radiator in. Just reversal of the removal. It's going to sit on its little feet there up on the frame. See, sitting right there on the rubbers. Okay.
2 bolts. We're going to stick these in.
Come around this side so you can see.
These will anchor the radiator to the radiator support. Just put these in by hand, save some time. Then, where do you go? There it is. We're just grab our 10mm socket and just tighten them down. Nice and secure. Get this one tightened down. Where's that lower hose? We're replacing this
Right
lower
there. Right there on the floor, on the box. And there's the 2 clamps over there by the car. Okay, so we gotta put the lower radiator hose there on the water pump, and then down to the bottom of the radiator there.
So this way and this way. So if you're changing hoses and you have to put new hoses in, it's always a good idea to pay attention to which way you put the clamps on. So that it just makes it easier for you to tighten it up. You don't want to put them on in a position where you're going to have difficulty or you can't get to the nut to tighten them down. As you can see on this bottom one here.
You can use the 1/4-inch gun to tighten them down if you want.
I put it so that I can easily access the screw. Loosen that up a little bit. Make sure you push the hose on all the way. It's kind of weird. We have to loosen them up more than they were on the old ones, just because the new hoses are thicker. They haven't, well, may not be thicker, but they just haven't been collapsed. Heat it up. Get out there. All right, then just feel for the end of the fitting or the outlet tube, and get it. Try to get your hose like in the center of it. Your clamp, I mean. And then just tighten it down. Just make sure it's tight. Just don't over tighten it because these clamps will break.
How do you know that?
Because I've done it before.
Oh.
You think, okay, well, it feels tight, and I'll just go a little bit more just to make sure, and they break. You can see they're real thin. They're just squeezing down. They're just squeezing on the hose. To make it faster. You can use a screwdriver, you can use a socket with a ratchet or nut driver. And same thing with this one. Put this up here. There's the end of the fitting. So just gonna put this right here. Ow.
What did you do? Tighten down your finger?
Yeah. I'm going to use my screwdriver and just snug them down a little more, make sure they're tight. That's good.
Yeah, just remember with these clamps, you want them pretty snug, but you don't have to He-Man them. Just, you know, get them tight, but not over tight.
And that should be good. That'll hold that on. We'll put this upper radiator hose on. That clamped up.
I thought I laid it right here. Did it fall off?
Stick this upper hose on here.
I'm gonna run around that side. Just so you
Yeah,
can
that's
see.
fine. Get that on.
We also see in here we've run all new heater hoses from up here down the water pump to the heater valve and then back to the heater core as well.
Yeah, those were just extra things that our customer wanted us to do while we were in here. So we were already in the middle of the job, that's why we didn't film it. Actually, this is good for them to see. We're going to need to cut this hose a little shorter. See how it's a little bit pinched there? I think we should cut it.
No, I think we should route it below. Nope.
Oh,
Yeah, we're gonna have to cut it.
All right, we'll take that back.
They made this end too long. We have to take about 2 inches off. See how it's kinked right here? Some of these aftermarket ones, they cut a little extra long. So we don't want that kink there because then the hose will, over time, get weak there and be collapsed and you won't get coolant flow.
Okay, now we can put this back on. There we go. That's a little better. It'll fix itself. It's there we go. That's
Okay,
good.
now we're not now we're not flat right here on that bend. It is a semi-formed hose, but now we can assure that it's not going to collapse right there. And you may have to modify things, especially with aftermarket parts. There's a huge cost savings, but sometimes they're not made exact to spec, like if you bought one from Ford, but still works just the same.
Now that we have, and you just grab it, give it a little twist, try to twist it, see it won't move. We'll be fine there. Oh, this has got to go in together. Now this particular vehicle, fan shroud. Okay, turn it on. All right, now we're ready to install our shroud and our fan. They have to go in together. As you can see, I taped a piece of cardboard in front of the radiator so we don't damage it. Okay, so I had it backwards. Just say something.
It's all right.
I'm not playing charades here. You gotta talk.
I didn't want to see it on the film.
Well, it's too late now. All right, so get this. Put this in here.
You see how he's got cardboard covering that new radiator so you don't poke a fin.
You can hear all the noise. It's getting beat up pretty good. We just want to try to set the bottom of it in if we can.
I can probably reach this side. Okay, that one's in.
Yeah, I think the cardboard's blocking us. So that's good enough. It's in there. Now we'll just spin this on. Let's get it going. Get this thing going. Okay, we got our fan spun on here until it stops. Now we can take our cardboard out. You can see the radiator's been protected. You heard all the banging around trying to get it in there. Now we just hook this at the bottom there. And on this same on this side. Just push it in a little bit, it'll go in. Maybe a little more. There we go. Got our two 10 millimeters here. That one started. This one started over here. Just tighten them down. Snug. You want to explain to them what the white stuff is there on our adapter so I can turn this down?
Yeah, and these here we just an extra precaution, and these are tapered. The originals didn't have it on there, but we put Teflon tape on there just so we didn't get a leak. Okay, and remember inside of here there's an O-ring, so we don't need the tape on there.
We've got the shroud on. We can spin this to make sure this isn't contacting. It's nice and tight. We're going to tighten our fan clutch down. So we have our tools that we showed you on removal. It might be hard to see. We'll grab this here. This holds on to all the bolts. That. And then we're gonna grab this here and just crank it over. All right, now we got that snug down, and like I said, as the engine spins, it'll help to tighten it up a little more. Let's see what we have left. We have our hose here for overflow. Don't forget to put that on. Goes back over here. Did this guy bring us a new radiator cap?
No.
Okay.
He had a new one on it.
Alright, so we'll get the radiator cap off the other radiator because that was new anyway. Now we just put our air intake duct on. Goes onto the throttle body there, and then over here where the air cleaner is. These don't have to be real tight, just enough where it doesn't come off. See? Don't forget to plug your last connector in. Get this thing lined up. Give it a little tug to make sure it's on. And one more right here. Just plug that in until you hear it click. One more clamp here, nice and tight, and now all we have to do is just fill it up with coolant or antifreeze, whichever you prefer to call it. And we'll let it run, get hot, make sure we get all the air out of it, and that's it. That's replacing a radiator on a 1996 Ford Explorer with a 4-liter engine. This is Andy and John from Car Repairs Made Easy. Hope this helped you do this job yourself, save yourself some money, and we'll see you next time. Bye.